Where are we? We're in Orlando.
Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida. And we've been here for just over a week from our back-to-back cruises. So we're just hanging out here, editing some videos, just kind of hanging out, living daily life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Until we move on to our next place coming up this weekend. We're going to be heading up to the northeast-ish area. So we'll be taking off here Saturday, I think, hopping on a train.
Yeah.
So today we actually want to, we've met a lot of you along the way here in the last couple of weeks. So a lot of subscribers.
It's been great.
We've had a lot of really good conversations about making plans and how to plan your trip and how do you guys plan this and how do you do your trips on Amtrak. And so we've put together a list of some like mistakes that you could make, or like, maybe don't do, or things to avoid. And so we want to kind of go over that a little bit with you guys today to start out with, and we'll also take some of your questions along the way as well. So what do you have, Rob?
Exactly. So we want to just give you the best experience possible when you're on Amtrak. And so here we go. The biggest mistake you can make, I think, is not knowing, and this is in the booking process, not knowing the name of the train that you're going to be riding. And you might think, why is that a mistake? I just know where I'm going. In the booking process, unfortunately on the Amtrak website, if you don't know the name of the train and you don't know what days the train goes on, let's say you put in from point A to point B, it may say you're going to need multiple trains to get there. Whereas if you put it in for the very next day, you could have just took one train.
Right.
And it won't tell you, if you wait a day, there's one train. So how you alleviate that is by knowing, if you want to go from Chicago to Seattle, that's the Empire Builder, and that you can get there on one train. And then when you're booking your train, you're just looking for the Empire Builder.
Exactly.
And you don't need to put in like multiple trains, a bus connection. Because if you put in the wrong date and there's not the Empire Builder on that date, it'll send you all over the place.
It will. It will send you on a wild goose chase on the trains.
You don't want that.
And throughway buses and things like that. So in order to avoid that, it is actually very important to learn the names of the routes. And we've actually put together, well, by we, I mean Rob, made an awesome tool for you guys that's on our website, groundedlifetravel.com. It's actually in the description down below as well. But he's put together this map for you and color-coded it and put all the names of everything on there. So hopefully you guys will be able to use that to help you as you're planning your trips, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So welcome everybody that's coming in right now.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Glad to have you here. While you guys are settling in and thinking up your questions, we're going to go over a couple more mistakes, and then we'll jump into your questions. Mistake number 2, and we see this all the time, and actually got a comment just a couple hours ago, if I thought 2 hours was enough time, is making a tight connection on Amtrak. Like, so you're going from one train to the next train, or from one train to a plane, and someone said, is 2 hours enough? And I said, no, you don't want to do a 2-hour connection on Amtrak. Tell us why.
Right. Well, if you've seen some of our recent videos, then you probably have seen that there are some timing issues and there are some delays due to various things, weather, freight train traffic, and things like that. And it's very challenging to try to make changes to your trip that you have planned if you have these tight connections and you're on the train trying to make those changes, or either change a flight or change car rentals and all that kind of stuff. It's really hard to do on the train. Sometimes you don't have very good service. Sometimes you don't have Wi-Fi. So it's best to just give yourself some breathing room.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get a couple questions here before I jump into the next mistake. So otherwise they're going to roll off my screen.
So we'll pause on the mistakes before we lose everybody.
Yeah. So does the new Viewliner car have a toilet in each roomette? And for those that don't like the toilets, it does not. So if you're not a fan of the toilet in the the Viewliner rooms, the new Viewliner 2s do not have a toilet. We were just on one of those like a week ago.
Yep.
What'd you think about that?
Yep. Well, I feel like without the toilet in the room, you do have more space. And you do have like storage underneath so you do have like a seat basically where the toilet would be, or a step, I guess is what you would use it for to get up. You still have the sink in the room. You just don't have the toilet. So, that's going to be down the hall, just like you would have in a Superliner, which I thought was good. And I felt like the roomette was a little bit bigger on the bottom level where we were seated.
Yeah.
Without the toilet. I felt like it was a little bit tighter with the toilet in the room.
Yeah, exactly. We'll come back to that in just a minute, though.
Okay.
It's in one of the mistakes.
So,
the third mistake, the third biggest mistake that you could make is not knowing the route that you're going on. So say you decided you're going to go on the California Zephyr, and you've heard that is the most scenic route, which it is, and you say, okay, I'm going to take the California Zephyr from Chicago to Denver. No, that's a huge mistake.
No.
Because the California Zephyr is not pretty from Chicago to Denver. It gets pretty after Denver, from Denver to San Francisco.
Yes.
So when people say in general terms like, this is the best route, or this is the prettiest route, the most scenic route, it's only one part of that route. So the whole, the first part of that route, you're just going through Iowa. And Iowa's nice, but not what people are talking about.
But not what you're expecting when you get to
when they send you
Colorado.
on the Zephyr.
Yeah.
So, hey, someone's saying they go Chicago to Martinez. That's perfect.
Yes.
Because,
you will get to see good stuff.
Yeah, Martinez is just before Emeryville. You're almost there. So, yeah, that is the thing you need to do is know the routes. And if you don't know the route, you can check out, we have a route guide for each actual route on the website, and you can check that out. It'll tell you exactly what you're going to be getting into. So
not only what you're seeing, but you'll also get recommendations for where to stay near the stations, between the terminus stations, and also just what you're going to see along the way, when to expect it, and all that kind of good stuff. So the route guides on groundedlifetravel.com are also extremely helpful. If you're planning out trips, definitely see those first. That's the best place to get all of the information whenever you want the information, because it's there all the time. Just visit the website and you'll spot those.
Yes, agree with you, retired 2019. The Zephyr is amazing, especially with a bedroom. We've never done it in a bedroom.
No.
We've
love
been
to.
in
a roomette both times.
A bedroom would be great, though, because you kind of can see out both sides.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, roomette, you get put on one side or the other. So
maybe on the next one?
Maybe. We'll see how many points we get built up. That was a good transition, because the next mistake is not having Guest Rewards account, because that is where you earn your points and where you get to do free trips. So if you're going to be going on Amtrak, you have to have Guest Rewards. You get the points, you get free trips. We've been on, like, how many free trips have we been on this year?
Oh, my goodness. I think we were just talking about this the other day, and of the last 6, I think 4 of them were free.
Yeah. So
they 2
do
of those were cross country. So and they were all in roomettes, which is pretty wild.
Roomettes,
Yeah.
So the other great thing about the Guest Rewards is if you're on there, they're going to email you about sales.
Exactly.
And that's the other main thing to do. Now, the last benefit to Guest Rewards is if you reach the tier, like the special, which she has done, I have not, because we put all of ours on hers. We put nothing on mine. So when we buy something, or we have the Amtrak credit card also, and all the points go to her account. So she's really, really high up in and I'm like the lowest base level. But if you have a problem, then if she calls in, they give you a special phone number to call in. You call in, they answer in like 15 seconds, take care of your problem, you're done.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you have a problem, you call in, it's going to be a little bit of a wait.
Yeah.
Let's be real. It's going to be a long wait.
Right now it's a long wait on the USA, 1-800-USA rail.
Yes. Dawn, we are in Florida.
Yes, Orlando, Florida. Well, really, Florida. We're in Kissimmee.
Yeah, Kissimmee. Which it's kind of crazy because the cell service here in Kissimmee is terrible. You
It's
never
pretty bad.
You never think that, but we've had a hard time getting cell service here. DBO Sports going on the Silver Star Thursday, first Amtrak experience.
Ooh.
Excited. Oh, that's going to be great. Where are you going?
Yeah.
We'd love to know where you're going.
Yeah.
We are doing either the Star or the Meteor on Saturday. I can't remember.
I can't remember which one. I get them confused. One goes to Tampa, one doesn't.
So Atomic John has a question here. He says, "Hi, I've been looking at Amtrak and come across your videos. Would you recommend a roomette for a trip that takes 24 hours?" Totally. I would recommend the roomette.
Yes.
That,
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get a full overnight. You're going to get all your meals included. From the angle of, is that enough time? Yeah, we've done roomettes. We do roomettes, like if we're on the Coast Starlight and we're just going to be going 12 hours, like we get on at 9 a.m., get off at 9 p.m., we'll still do a roomette just for that.
Yeah.
Just because they're generally pretty cheap if you're not going overnight. You get your meals, you get a guaranteed view and a place to be, privacy, all that. So
Yeah.
definitely 24 hours if you're going a roomette.
Yes.
If you can
It's very
swing
good.
it, a roomette is the way to go. That would be a good starting point. That's a good length trip to start out with too.
It is, definitely.
Because 24 hours, you're not on there for 3 days like we were on the Zephyr a couple
Almost
weeks ago.
4.
Let's see. Edward says he rode cross country in 1977. Wow.
Whoa, 1977.
I would love to see
Wow.
like videos or pictures of that.
That would
trip,
be cool.
because that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Also in 1977, we were little.
Yeah.
In 1977,
You were little when
I
I
was
was.
4, right?
Yep.
Yes, and you were 5.
Yeah, probably.
Now you can figure out how old we are. Haha.
So Mountain State Matt is going on the Zephyr
Ooh.
from Emeryville to Chicago in mid-October, spending a few days in San Fran. Want to pack light. Ideas on the weather there in mid-October.
Yes, and we were actually there last year. We did that trip.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Emeryville, right?
Yes, Emeryville. Yes.
So, yeah, we were there in October last year. It was nice.
Yes, it was nice. It was nice,
real
and
nice.
the views were beautiful. If the timing is right,
Ooh, yeah.
when we rode by, if you go on the channel, we've got the video here from when we did that trip last year. The colors were changing on all of the trees, and it was absolutely stunning. In the gorges, you see those big bright oranges and reds and yellows on the trees. Absolutely beautiful. So it's a perfect time. Hopefully it works out that you can still see those colors on the trees as you go across.
Yeah, I think you should have some. So
Yes,
it'll be
yes.
beautiful. All right, DBO Sports is going Gainesville to Columbia.
Oh, okay.
That'll be a nice trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be going
Very
through there
nice.
too.
Yeah, we'll be doing that soon too.
So Randall's got a question here. I noticed you had your meals in your room on the California Zephyr. How do you handle tips for room service? Do you tip each time the attendant brings food, and if so, how much? What do you do? So yeah, if you have your meal in your room, it's not the dining car attendant that'll bring it to you. It's your room steward that will take care of you. So they will actually take your order, go place the order, and when the food's done, they'll pick it up, they'll put it all in a bag, walk it to your room, and just give you an entire bag of everything. And then you just take it from there. And then when you're done, they'll come by an hour later
and get your
the trash. So because it is your room steward that you're going to have the whole trip, we just wait and include that in the end of the trip tip for the room steward.
Yes.
So there's not like it's not like a hotel where there's a separate person for room service. So there's no separate thing. It's still just the two people serving you, the room steward and then the dining car people.
Right.
So that's a really good question. I've
Yes.
never heard that question before.
Yeah, good question.
Michelle's going to be on the Empire Builder in October from Milwaukee to Seattle. Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah, that's a nice ride.
That'll be great.
And you should encounter some pretty color changes too in the trees as you're going across.
Yeah.
And
Kent's
probably
asking,
some snow too.
Kent is asking, can you enter the train and the roomette with a biohazard head covering? Airline said you could not do that. I don't know. I've never seen
I've never seen anyone with one. I imagine they would let you do that. I mean, you're going into a roomette, so I would think it would be okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't seen anyone with one.
Somebody was asking, and I wanted to mention this. Someone was asking on our blog, I think a couple weeks ago, if it was how much contact you had, like if you're in a roomette and with other people and the Amtrak people. And honestly, yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, you could almost go the entire trip without even seeing anybody if you wanted to. And if you told them, they'd respect that. So you could get on, you could keep your distance, you could get to your room. Someone's going to check your ticket, but after that, you walk to your room, you shut the door, they'll come and knock, and you can just crack it open and talk, and they'll deliver your meals. So, yeah, the answer is if you, as opposed to a plane, if you really were concerned about not contacting other people, you could go almost the whole trip without seeing other people. So I wanted to throw that out for people that were concerned about that.
And the hallways in the sleeper cars are never really crowded. You may run into one person, and honestly, when you do, you can just back right back up into your room if you want to. So it's really not, you really don't have to, like you said, you really don't have to encounter anyone if you don't want to.
If you don't want to. Retired 2019 asks, what is, and we're all jealous of that, by the way, what is your second favorite Amtrak route? What's your second favorite?
Oh, second favorite. Okay, so everybody knows that California Zephyr is our top.
That's one.
I think second favorite, Coastarlight.
Yeah, Coastarlight.
Or would you choose a different one? You sound like you would choose a different one.
No, that's probably the right choice. But
you don't have to say it because I did.
No, it's probably the second prettiest. But I think as far as fun, and someone was talking about this week, the Acela.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty fun.
True. That's true.
That's a favorite for a different reason. Not for the.
That was fun just because it's like
not for the scenery.
Zoom. That is a fun ride too.
Yeah. So. Edward said he wished he had pictures of that 1977 train trek.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah, we have a lot of things we wish we had pictures of before we started. That's why we started making YouTube videos because
pictures and videos. Yeah, because we were not keeping track of it.
Yeah, Steve is going on the Southwest Chief tomorrow, Chicago to Flagstaff. Ooh, that's exciting.
Fun.
You're gonna have traditional dining. That's gonna be great.
That'll be so much fun.
Yeah. Get that cheeseburger for me, Steve.
Rob misses the cheeseburger from traditional dining.
We've been on, like, the last 5 trains we've been on have all been the flexible dining. It's been like...
Because we've been on the East Coast, so we miss going out to the West Coast and getting that traditional dining.
And I always get the pasta and meatballs, and I was like...
On the flexible dining.
Yeah.
On the traditional dining, you get an appetizer, you get an entree, you get a dessert. It's really quite good. You're going to enjoy it.
Lucas is asking tip amount suggestions. So in the dining room, generally, this is just, we've asked other people on the train and we know what we do. Generally, people do $2 to $3 per meal per person. They usually leave it right after the meal. On the overnights, generally $5 to $10 per person per night for the room attendant.
Correct.
And the other one is for the dining car attendant.
Correct, yes.
And the reason we switched, we used to do just one tip at the end for the dining car attendant. But with traditional dining, now there's 2 dining car attendants, and they may switch.
Yes, so you don't know which one you're getting, and you want to make sure you don't, slight one over another.
So now we just leave it for each meal, so that the person that served you gets the tip. Otherwise, you're like, well, where'd so-and-so go? So, yeah, my thing just jumped around.
We lost track.
So another, Randall's asking a follow-up to that, which is the same tip. I think we just answered 2 passengers in a bedroom taking all but breakfast in the room. So if you were, that was the thing. If you're taking all your meals in the room, maybe you err on the higher side of that per night because you're not going to be really tipping the dining car. If you're taking all your meals in the dining car, give a little more to them and tip on a little bit lower on the room side.
Yes.
Elliot's asking, we're booked in an accessible room from Newton, Kansas to New York City. What is the difference between the Cardinal and the Lakeshore from Chicago to New York City? Well, mostly it's the route and the length. So the Cardinal takes the real southern route, and I think it's going to take longer. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. The Lakeshore Limited, I think, is a little bit prettier route. In our estimation, you do go by the lakes.
Mm-hmm.
You do have a lot of
Thus
lakes.
the name.
Yeah, they were pretty clever with that one. And it is pretty. So I think we like the Lakeshore Limited for scenery, and it's also quicker. Other than that, there's not much difference.
Yeah,
I mean,
not
you'll be asleep for most of it when you're in that middle portion. But the other difference is check the times. Like one of them might leave at a more convenient time for you, and that's really
like that's how we choose.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just depends on which one. Oh well, Maurice is on. Maurice says it's much longer. The Lakeshore Limited, he's saying, is better choice. So I would go with Maurice. He's a conductor. Hey Maurice, nice
Maurice,
to see you.
How you doing? We liked the Lakeshore. I think. Was our favorite.
We did. We enjoyed it very much.
Traveling's. Hey Maurice, if you saw earlier, I did say the Acela was one of my favorite routes.
We've had some trouble with pronunciation of Acela, and Maurice set us straight. And now we say it correctly. We think.
Lucas says, I'm traveling solo in a roomette. Will a typical airline carry-on fit and still have room to sit? Oh, yeah. You'll have plenty
absolutely.
of room.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
If you're solo especially, you'll have tons of room. If you are not solo, and it depends on what kind you're in. So I haven't got to my fifth mistake yet, which this is going to be it. I'm going to do it right now. So the fifth mistake is not knowing what type of train you're on. And so if you want to know that, you can either look on, when you book your ticket, it'll say like Viewliner Roomette or Superliner Roomette. And on our website, we tell you what type each train is. So you can look at Viewliner or Superliner. And then if you go look at the old videos, you want to look at the right type because there's two kinds of roomettes. There's two kinds of trains, Superliner, Viewliner. The Viewliner trains are much taller and have much more room because they're single level. Superliner trains are double deckers, and there's two roomettes on top of each other, so they're shorter, and there's a lot less storage in the Superliners.
Yes.
So if you're on a Viewliner, you can put not only your carry-on, you can put like a full
like
suitcase.
your big bag.
Yeah, up above. There's like an actual rack
Up above.
up above.
Above the top bunk.
Above the top bunk to the side. So if you're on a Superliner with two people, there's not much room for baggage.
Yeah, it's you have space for the two of you, but if you have a bunch of bags, it's going to be pretty tight.
Yeah, so you definitely want to find that out. And then the second thing would be with that is, are you on a Viewliner 1 or Viewliner 2, Superliner 1, Superliner 2? There's just slight differences on those, but they're all mentioned in the videos. So
yeah.
Richard, thank you so much
Richard, yay.
for your super
Thanks,
chat.
Richard. Let's
see, he says, booked on the California Zephyr for the first time, Sacramento to Reno this coming Labor Day. Very excited about this new adventure. I always love you too with your timely tips and fun comments.
Awesome.
Oh, great. Well, thank you.
You're going to have fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty ride actually through the mountains there from Sacramento to Reno.
Yeah.
So that'll be a fun little trip.
Exactly. So I'm going to go back up here a little bit.
Okay.
Marie says that the Viewliner 2s are coming to the Lakeshore Limited, which is really great.
Good. Yes.
The Viewliner 2, so the Viewliner 2 and the Viewliner 1, there's a huge difference between them. It is that in the roomette, the Viewliner 1 have a toilet in the roomette, the Viewliner 2 do not. And there's also the difference of they're way newer and really, really nice. So if the Lakeshore Limited is getting the Viewliner 2s, then that's going to be a great addition to them. Yeah. Let's see. Are pets allowed? Support dog. Yes, pets are allowed. You do have to reserve. There's actually an article on our website, groundlifetravel.com, on how to bring a pet. So if
gives
you
you
go
all
there,
the details.
Gives you all the details. The short story is you have to reserve it because they only allow 5 pets per train, and so you have to actually let them know that you're.
So you can't just show up with your pet. Even a support animal, you would need to make sure that you register that.
So you can do it, and all the details are on the website there.
You're welcome.
Great. Southwest Chief is a Superliner, Lucas.
Yep. Yes, indeed. You are correct.
And let's see. Maurice answered Viking Sniper's question of new sleepers.
And sometimes you'll see trains where they have one car is a one sleeper car is like a Superliner 1 and one is a Superliner 2, or the same thing with the Viewliners. Sometimes you'll be in a, one's a Viewliner 1, one's a Viewliner 2. We've seen that before. Sometimes you'll get assigned one in one, and sometimes they have to move you to another one for whatever reason. So just kind of be prepared for the differences. You could have both on one train.
Thank you, Jay, for the super chat.
Jay,
that's
thank
amazing.
you.
We really appreciate that. Really appreciate your support, watching, supporting the channel. That's great.
Thank you.
Jay
I like
says,
that, influencers.
That's good, Jay. You're coining
Hopefully good
coining a term
influence.
here. Thank you, Jay. Really appreciate that. Someone asked if we'd ever ridden in coach. Yeah, we ride coach quite a bit. We don't ride it that often overnight. We have. And it's really nice. I mean, actually, coach is... Actually, if you're just like wanting the biggest seat, it's coach, right?
It is.
The coach seats,
super comfortable.
If you have two coach seats, you actually have more legroom than if you have a roomette. But you just don't have the privacy, and
Correct.
it is definitely harder to sleep. And so, as we are not 25 anymore, we like to sleep. You might be 20. Are you 25?
I am.
Yeah, she is. I'm not
Just
25.
kidding.
So it's harder.
Good thing our kids are not watching, because they would chime in real quick that I'm not 25.
It's hard for us to sleep in coach, so we don't. And then generally we're taking pretty long trips. So, but if we're just going 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours
or less,
we just do coach because it's really easy.
It's easy
and it is cheap. Someone wanted to know how much roomette costs, and so I'll just go over that real quick.
Okay.
The roomettes, for a night, overnight, or a couple overnights, they're going to be around $500 to $700 for two people. But the quicker you book them, the earlier you book them, the cheaper it's going to be because they go up as time goes on, right?
Right. Yep. Absolutely. So as soon as you know you want to go, book it, because the price does go up the closer you get to your trip.
Good question here from Nutty to You. First time watching the Burbank to Anaheim trip. How did you get back? That's a good question. Since the train returns earlier than Disney does.
See,
we figured that out on the train.
Yeah. See, we were trying to do the Metrolink, and it was going to be later than... Well, the thing is, we had our daughter with us, and she is 20. Well, she's 21, and so she wanted to stay till the last possible second. Well, all the public transportation basically is shut down by then, or is just done running. So how did we get back?
We took an Uber.
We did. We paid the money.
It really wasn't that bad, though.
It wasn't.
So, yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
We paid, how much was the Uber?
And by then, there wasn't much traffic, so it was...
Yeah.
You know what? It actually got cheaper as the night went on, because I checked at 9 and it was $25, and I think by the time we left the park at 9:45, it was $17. So it's not too bad. And she lives right near Burbank in North Hollywood, so we went from Anaheim to North Hollywood, and it wasn't bad at all.
So how was the Arctic bus? Was the second part of that question? It was good.
Yeah,
there was nobody on it.
And
we were shocked because
the driver was super nice.
Yeah, we did this whole we looked it up you can get to there, you ride this bus. They made it sound like everybody does this.
Sounded super easy.
We got there and we were the only people doing it.
They were like, "You're looking for what?"
They're like, "You're going to Disney on a bus?" I was like, "They're like, nobody does this." I was like,
"Why?"
Well, it says right on the website, this is what you should do. So we did. Got there. There was two other people on the bus. They were foreigners who probably looked at the website too and thought this was what everybody did. So,
So we got on this bus. The lady said, "What are you waiting for? What bus are you waiting for?" Because she saw the three of us sitting there like orphans, waiting for something. And she said, "What are you waiting for?" I said, "We're going to Disney." And she was like, "Do you have the pass or whatever to get on the Arctic bus?" And I was like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." She's like, "Come on, get on the bus." She said, "I'll tell you how to do it." So I got on the bus. That she told me, download this app, and then buy a ticket for each of you on there, and then just scan it before you get off the bus. I said, okay, great. So she told me how to do everything, and I got it all done. And so that's how we got back. Long answer to your very short question. We took Uber back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, so we have a cruise question.
Oh.
So if you don't know, we've been on 3 cruises the last month, and we do have a cruise channel if you like cruises, Grounded Life Cruises.
Grounded Life Cruises.
Yeah.
Head over
So-
there. There's also a link down in the description.
Viking Sniper is asking, how did you like the Miravilia, and will you be posting videos? How
Yes.
was their private island?
Yes, we did like it, and we loved the private island. It's probably one of our favorite. It's absolutely gorgeous, and we do have videos. I actually have just been editing those this week, and those are going to be over on the cruise channel. I do have, actually this Friday, we have our vlog from our very first cruise since the shutdown was on the Carnival Mardi Gras, which was actually the first sailing for that ship. And that video is going to be up this Friday. And you should definitely watch that because it's quite entertaining.
So,
As we maneuver the craziness of getting on a cruise ship again.
yeah, and the interesting thing is, if you saw last week's video, you know how much Allie likes roller coasters. And there's a roller coaster on the Mardi Gras, but I'm just going to
If you didn't watch Friday's video, you really missed out on, the joys of riding a roller coaster with me. I'm not a roller coaster kind of gal. If you've seen our videos, you probably know I'm not a heights gal, so I'm not a roller coaster girl either. Growing up, Dad, Rob, was always the roller coaster dad with the kids, and I was the I'll hold your stuff down here while you guys are having fun up there kind of mom.
Yeah. Someone's asking a question here regarding tips. Do you leave it in the room, or do you give it to them when you get off?
You give it to them as you're getting off the train. Usually for the attendant, we always give it to them as we're getting off the train because they will be there helping you off the train. They have to open the door and they have to usually put either a step stool or flip the steps or whatever. So you will always see them as you're getting off of the train because they're the ones who open the door for you. So we always give the attendants their tip as we're leaving. If you're going to tip, usually we do the dining car now as per meal, but if you want to, you could do it all at once. If you only have one attendant in the dining car, you can give it to them at the end.
Have you tried the Amtrak Bid Up? And no, we haven't tried that.
We haven't.
And I think the reason is because we've been booking everything with points.
We've been getting a bunch of stuff
And I
for
don't
free
think you
and
can-
using coupons, and you can't mix them. So we haven't tried it. I wanted to try it, but we couldn't do it because I had used points to get one, and I was going to try to upgrade to a bedroom, but I couldn't do the Bid Up because we use points to get the roomette, and you have to use the same currency, I guess.
We will try it as soon as we can.
Yes.
Have you taken the auto train, planning a trip to Disney? Looking for any advice from Virginia to Florida?
No, we haven't done the auto train. Right now, we've only just done, from that area, we've only done the Silver Meteor and the Silver Star down to Florida. And we've gotten off in both Kissimmee and in Orlando. You could do either. We found Kissimmee was a little bit easier if you're going to Disney because it's closer and it's a cheaper ride. If you're getting an Uber, it's a cheaper ride from Kissimmee than it is from Orlando, and you don't have to put up with the traffic on I-4, which is...
Yeah, we mostly haven't done the auto train because we don't have a car.
And that's also part of the problem.
Makes it hard.
We have no
Difficult.
car.
Yeah, I thought about renting a car once to take it on the auto train. I don't think that's real.
I don't know
economical.
if they would like that or not.
No,
I have no idea.
That's never come to fruition yet. But that's why the auto train video is on hold. But
Eventually we'll try it.
yeah, but look into just taking the other train to Kissimmee and maybe taking an Uber.
Yeah.
'Cause it worked for
We
us.
did that and had no problems.
Okay, here's a good one because I don't really understand this always because they switch it on every train. With the sleeper, it says free drink throughout your journey. Where do you get the free drinks? Well, I know you get the free drinks, but tell them about the free drinks.
Free drinks. So you get those from your attendant. There's an attendant button in your room. Or if they just happen past your room and you want a drink, just tell them you do. They provide you.
I think you're talking
with
about alcohol.
Alcohol,
drinks, yeah.
and they'll provide the water with you. Now, The alcoholic beverages, you get 1 per person per trip. So if you're, say, doing the California Zephyr, you're not going to get a free alcoholic beverage each day. You'll just get 1, so you choose which day you want to do it. And on the traditional dining, they're only serving that beverage with dinner. So if you're there just writing it for some reason only through a lunch meal, you're not going to get it then. They're only doing it at dinner unless, you know, you can persuade your dining room attendant to do otherwise. That's just how they're doing it right now.
Yeah, but there are like a lot of variations of that because
there
like,
are.
Sometimes they'll say you get one with every day. Sometimes they'll say
we've gotten both variations.
We've had drinks in our fridge here in this condo from Amtrak because
we had too many.
They were just stuffing them in the bags.
Yeah, I was like, why'd they give us so many drinks? There's just the 2 of us.
Yeah, so
and we were literally only on for one night. So yeah. I don't know what happened if they just had a bunch of extras.
I think the nicer you are to your room attendant, the more drinks they stuff in the bag. So be nice when you get on right at first. That will help you. Which liner has a shower and toilet in the room for people that need assistance? Okay, so there's a couple different room configurations with that. All of the bedrooms on any train, not the roomette, but the bedrooms have a shower and a toilet. Then also the Viewliner 2 accessible bedroom has a shower and a toilet. The Superliner accessible does not have a shower. It has a toilet.
And it's not, the shower is not super accessible.
No.
If you've seen, we have a video on here. You can go check out the videos and it'll give you a little bit more detail, show you every single one. But there is no shower in the Superliner accessible bedroom.
Exactly. Let's see. Edward's saying, when will the Viewliner 2 equipment debut on the Lakeshore Limited? I'm writing Chicago on the 9th and the 12th. I do not know. Maybe Maurice, he's already answered it down below.
He may have answered that.
He would know.
I want to say that Maurice said it was towards the beginning of September, but stay tuned, Edward, because Maurice is on. So hang on.
Oh yeah, he says he just got an email about it.
He did answer it. I think below he answered it.
He's going to answer it if he hasn't yet. What are your thoughts regarding the bathrooms in the roomettes? I was surprised to see how close it is where the seats are.
Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, it is. I think the awkward part is like I sleep on the bottom and Rob sleeps on the top bunk, and so the awkward part is going to the bathroom in the night. And honestly, I'm just a little bit concerned, mostly because of the movement of the train. If Rob's trying to go to the bathroom and say there's, that movement on the train, if you've been on there, then that's more my concern. It can be a little bit awkward. I don't know. I like them both because I do like the convenience of just having it right there and getting to it quickly and not having to leave the room in the night. But then at night, I'm like, oh, maybe I don't like this. I don't know. It just depends. I don't know if that answers your question, but gives you more insight.
Yeah. Thank you, Anthony, for the super chat.
Anthony,
we really appreciate
thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. He says another great video. If back in the Northeast, look for Avelia Liberty Next Gen Acela testing and test train is set, often seen at the Philly 30th Street station. We're going to be going up that direction next week, so we will be looking. That is great, and that is exciting too. So hopefully we'll all get more information on that soon.
Yes.
I'm trying to scroll back up here.
Where did you leave off?
Question for the 20-hour trip between Los Angeles and Texas. Would you recommend a bedroom or a family bedroom for one adult couple? Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And we do have videos of each on the channel, a bedroom and a family bedroom. So that's going to be on a Superliner. The differences is that the bedroom has a toilet and a shower. And the family bedroom, no toilet, no shower. So, and these are not like the open toilet showers. So I would recommend the bedroom for that, if it's just a couple.
Yeah.
Really, the family bedroom, we rode in it once, and it was good. But there's so many beds that it feels like kind of cramped.
It feels very tight, yeah. And you're like at the end of one of the cars.
And you're on the lower level.
Yeah, so it's kind of, it's a little awkward. The bedrooms in the Superliners, you're upstairs.
Yeah, so definitely if you're choosing between those two, the bedroom is a little more expensive generally. But if you had 4 people, definitely the family bedroom. But with 2,
But just 2, then
I would go with the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What happens if a train is late arriving into Chicago and I miss my connection to Pittsburgh? Asked Bill. So that's a good question because that just happened to us. So that's a reason why you don't want to have really tight connections because it's likely that you'll be late. And it kind of depends on what you've done. So if you booked through Amtrak and you're on another Amtrak train, they're going to take care of all that mess for you and make sure it's okay. You might not like what happens, but they're going to take care of it. I mean, you're obviously going to be getting on another train the next day. I don't know where they're going to put you for that time. If you've done like you're flying out of there, you're just going to miss your flight. Or if you have something important to go to, you're just going to miss that.
Yeah.
So if we're going somewhere, especially Chicago, we just plan an extra day because...
Yeah, if you have the time, which we do.
Yeah. Maurice does say if you didn't see, the Viewliner 2s will be introduced after Labor Day.
There you go.
Business class on the Carolinian from New York City, very comfortable with complimentary beverages, by the way. Yeah, we like business class. Yes. What do you think about that?
We do like business class. The seats are comfortable, and you do get the beverages included with some of those as well with several of the business class ones. So that's really nice too.
Let's see. I thought of staying the night in Burbank. This is perfect. Hi to your daughter, California Adventure.
From a neighbor.
Have you ever got a roomette on a trip where you were staying overnight just for privacy and comfort? So like go Starlight?
Yes, absolutely. Because we started out the day really early that day when we left Burbank. And so we wanted to be able to rest. And it was during the daytime. So we thought it would be best to get a roomette. And also it was free because we used our guest rewards points. And so we thought, why not if we get it for free?
And the day trips, they're generally cheap. So
yes.
I think it would have only been like $280
It's
for
not
2
bad.
people in the roomette.
Yeah.
And coach was like 100 something.
Yeah,
so.
if you're looking for the experience of the roomette, that's nice. And we did get a meal in there too, or maybe 2. I can't remember. I think 2.
Yeah. Mark is asking, getting ready to go from Tampa to DC in November. Are there still dining restrictions? So there aren't really any dining restrictions at all to speak of. In fact, it's less strict than a lot of people even want because if you're going to be in the dining car, so you're going to have on that train, you'll have flexible dining. It just depends on who the attendant is. Sometimes they'll sit you 2 to a table. Sometimes they'll sit you 4 to a table. Depends on how busy it is. But
so you could possibly be sitting with strangers. Again, this depends on your dining car attendant. Sometimes they just, do their best to get everybody in there as quickly as possible. But sometimes they'll, stack you together with other people. Sometimes they won't. It literally just depends on the person.
Do you have the same attendant the entire trip?
Yes, you do. Yes, which is hard because they're literally, I think that's why, you definitely should be tipping your attendant because they're on call all day, every day. And on a ride like the California Zephyr, our attendant was on call. We were talking to him towards the very end when we did our last fresh air break. We stopped and were chatting with him, and he had been on for 96 hours. So that's a really long time, and he did such a great job, and he had such a good attitude the entire time. Absolutely amazing. So that's why we strongly encourage you to tip your attendants because they work very hard.
Stuart's asking, is it better to get on the Zephyr in Omaha or Lincoln? I don't really see any difference.
You're basically just going to miss out on seeing some cornfields. I'm not going to lie.
So I would say just whichever is more convenient
Doesn't matter.
to you. And the time. The time and the place.
Yeah.
They're both good. Did this get covered? Lula is, when traveling with your animal, isn't it true you can't go more than 8 hours? I think there is a restriction like that. We don't have any animals because we travel so much, but we've never, but I did see that. I wrote the article on it, and I do remember seeing that.
Yeah,
so
so
it's
check
all
that
laid
out.
out, but there is a restriction for you can't go like the whole way.
Right.
No, you can't do the whole California Zephyr with your pet. Just BBQ Rando. Just to confirm, if you travel coach, you can't eat in the dining car. That is correct.
Correct.
You can eat in
For
the
now,
cafe.
yes.
You can eat. You can buy food in the cafe and take it to the observation car if there is one.
If you have one, yes.
If you don't, you have to take it back to coach.
Yes. Sometimes, depending on the train, they'll have tables in the cafe. If it's like a cafe car, then they'll have tables in there. If they don't, then you just take it back to your seat and eat there.
Margaret is asking, want to travel when it's cooler. Is it cheap in October?
I don't know that it's cheaper. Again, I think the rate, really, the only difference, there's no more expensive or cheaper time really with Amtrak because it is so popular and even more popular now that people are trying to stay away from air travel because of everything going on with that. I think that we know the sooner you know that you want to go on a trip, the sooner you should book your ticket on Amtrak because the prices go up the closer you get to your trip, and the fuller the train gets, the higher the rate goes. So as soon as you think you want to go ahead and book it because that's going to be your best rate.
Trish is asking, is there any kind of assistance for solo handicapped travelers at a large Amtrak station? I'm not in a wheelchair, but I'm on oxygen. Can't walk long distances.
Yes. And they do have red cap service, and you can ask for that when you get to the station and you check in, especially the big stations. But I've seen it literally at all of the stations, even the teeny tiny ones. And if you need assistance, if you're like at even an unstaffed station, the staff from the train will come out and get you where you need to be. So just get there a little bit early. Make sure you let them know I need red cap service, or even if you don't remember what red cap, just let them know, hey, I need some assistance, and they will make sure to get that set for you. Usually it means they put you on like a golf cart type thing and drive you to the actual train, because in some stations, like in say like Chicago, sometimes it's a long walk to get to the train, and so you're going to want to make sure that you have that red cap assistance, because they'll take you on the golf cart and take you right to the door where you need to be, and they'll help you get on the train as well.
Yeah, and of all the modes of transportation, Amtrak employees are the most helpful. They are, without a doubt, the most helpful. I've seen them carry people. I've seen them do things that you wouldn't even think possible. So if you have an issue, they're going to take care of it.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to take care of it.
Yeah.
So if you have, mobility issues, it's probably the best way to travel, I would say, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, Ray is going to Boston so his wife can do the Boston Marathon.
Oh, fun. That's amazing. Yay.
Are sodas free just for one day? Asked Earl. No, you can get soda the whole time.
Yeah.
And water. That's if you're in a sleeper car, though, right?
And Maurice was answering that question about the wheelchair.
Yes. And someone answered the Nebraska question. Let's see.
Oh.
They're saying Omaha's better. So if you didn't see that. Let's see. Someone's asking here, leaving in 2 hours, how do I find my roomette? So this is a good question.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy because a lot of times if you just have the app, it won't tell you your room number.
On your ticket in the app.
And what's going to happen is you're going to get up to the conductors and they're going to ask you, well, what room are you in? You're going to say, I don't know. Here's my ticket. And then they're going to look up your name on their list. And then they're going to tell you which one it is. And then you're going to go. But if you want to avoid that, you can just go to the ticket counter in the train station and they'll tell you what room you're in.
And what car you're in.
Yeah. And so sometimes we know the room and sometimes we don't. And they'll, like if you're trying to get there quickly, we haven't gone to, there's a long line or something. And sometimes they'll say, well, you're supposed to check in at the ticket counter and find out what room you're in. You can do that, but if you don't know what room you're in, they'll have a long paper and they can tell you. But we've been told you're supposed to find out beforehand at the ticket counter. Probably not the biggest deal if you don't.
Yes.
That was a good question, though.
Yes, very
Let's
good.
see. I'm jumping down here.
Oh, boy, yes.
Jacqueline says, can a person still donate money when you're not on a live? No, I don't think you can. That's for the super chat and all that. I don't think it's possible. At least not with us. We don't have like a Patreon or anything like that. So that's the way people do it if they want that to happen. We have not done that. So,
set something up.
No,
yeah.
but we do appreciate everyone
Thank
being
you.
here, and if they donate, that's great too. If not, that's great too. Let's see. Ooh, a question on maps.
Ooh.
If I want to go from Cincinnati to Tucson, any advice on the trip? So, while I look that up, I'm going to give you another question.
To Tucson. Okay.
Maurice says he's taking off.
Okay.
He's actually working right now.
He's in the middle of a work
answering
trip.
questions on the trip.
Maurice is awesome.
Disney Deb says, is 4 hours of a window too small for a connection?
I would discourage you from doing a 4-hour connection.
Yeah.
I would go with a much bigger window. If you can build an extra day in there, I would. If not, I would try to get that window much longer, as big as you can. As big as you can afford to do.
Regular dining service, East Coast trains, when will that be?
We don't know yet. I know that for a fact that the staff is definitely lobbying for them to bring that back. And of course the passengers are, so we're hoping that's going to be sooner than later. We just don't know, when that is going to be. So just keep an eye out for that. But it is back on the, West Coast legs of the trip, so you can do it there. But hopefully soon. I know every Amtrak employee I have talked to in the last few months has said, we really want to get that traditional dining back. So hopefully soon.
Okay, so I figured out the question.
Okay. We're going where? Cincinnati to Tucson.
Okay. You want to take the Cardinal to Chicago, and then the Texas Eagle to Tucson. And that's all you need to do is those two.
Okay, there you go.
Mike, thanks so much for the super chat. We really appreciate that. He just says, love you guys.
Yes.
Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And I am very behind in these questions. We're going to have to probably do a little bit of a rapid fire here.
Okay, rapid fire. Here we go.
So, let's see. I have to read them quickly, though, too.
Okay.
Your inspiration for our traveling anniversary trip. Tips were helpful. I think that's just a comment. Is the area around Emeryville safe? Should I chance booking a cheaper hotel a few miles away or book the Hyatt House right next to the station for safety traveling alone?
Okay, I would definitely encourage you. Let's see, we've done almost all of the hotels right around that. And if you go to the route guide for either the Coast Starlight or the California Zephyr that has information about Emeryville Station, it will tell you all of the hotels are linked there. So groundedlifetravel.com, and it will go to that route guide. But we have stayed at all of the hotels there, from the Hyatt to the Sonesta, which is a little farther away. And we actually walked at night, late at night, and didn't have any troubles. It's just, just be wary of stuff.
It was safe. It was safe. It was a little longer than we wanted.
The Sonesta is probably the farthest away from the station, so I'd probably discourage you
We
from
walked
that
with
one.
our bags to the Sonesta at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
Yeah.
It was longer than we wanted
We
to
didn't
do.
even run into anybody. I didn't even see anybody. I think we saw maybe 2 cars drive by, but didn't see any people from the station, and it was just the 2 of us. But the Hyatt House is literally right across the street, super easy. So that's going to be your easiest solution. It may be a little bit more, but it's super easy because it's literally right across that little bridge.
Yeah, we've never stayed at the Hyatt House though, because it's always been like every time we've gone, it's been like $279, and the Sonesta was like $140, and I was like, that's a 10-minute walk for $140.
Then he was rethinking that when we were halfway to the Sonesta.
Halfway
He was
there,
like,
I was
why
like,
did we do this again?
I was like, yeah, the Hyatt House is looking
At 1
pretty
o'clock
good.
in the morning didn't seem as fun.
I got
So
there.
just keep that in mind.
I was happy
too.
when I got there. I was like, yeah, that's $140. That was not rapid fire.
That was not.
That was the opposite.
That's the
of
worst
rapid
rapid fire ever.
Do they have Amtrak points? Yes, and you should definitely sign up for them.
Yes, it's called Amtrak Guest Rewards, and you can get lots more information on our website, groundedlifetravel.com. We'll give you all the details on that as well.
What's the best time to book a room at?
as soon as you know you want to go on a trip. The further away from the trip that you book it, the better. The closer you get to your trip, the more expensive it will be.
Best ride to Upper Michigan. There's sadly no ride to Upper Michigan. So you'll have to rent a car or drive your car. I would love to do that, though. Do you suggest to book your trip online or go to the Amtrak facility? I really suggest online. And if that fails you, I would call. I would not book it at the Amtrak facility because I saw, I'm not going to name the station, but it was in Virginia. There was people that had walked in. They were trying to book a trip to Canada. This was in the middle of the pandemic, and they were like...
To Canada.
They were like, I cannot get...
This was several months ago.
I cannot get the tickets to work online. They were like, well, they were trying to get them. They were there for like 45 minutes.
Trying to figure out how to get to Canada.
And finally, I just told them
Canada
all.
was closed.
Canada's closed. You can't book an Amtrak ticket.
And that's why you can't get a ticket online. So just kind of keep those things in mind. It's better to just do it online. Like we said, it's good to go to our website. Use the map tool that Rob has put together for you guys, groundedlifetravel.com. Use that map, figure out where you need to go, figure out your routes and what trains you need to take, and then go to the Amtrak website and purchase them there. Or you can do it right through the app, which is how we do it all the time.
Yeah. So, hello. Have you ever stayed in a B, C, D, or E bedroom? She would know. I don't keep track of the rooms.
Yes, in a
I asked
viewliner?
because I have heard the sound transference between those rooms is high because they are connected by a thin wall.
Yes, and it's actually a door that opens between them, and there's a little gap on the bottom as well, so there is more sound there. We have had that in several when we've been on the viewliner bedrooms.
Ooh, Julie wants an upgrade to the map, saying it would be nice if the nighttime section was black so we know when it's too dark to see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Julie has issued a challenge to Rob.
All right, we'll have to see about that. San Francisco, let's see. Alan James says, ooh, they unfortunately had to get off the Zephyr and do... If you had a bad experience like that, and they say customer service was not good, I would call in. That's another reason to have the guest rewards because we had a bad experience once too. Well, a couple times, and we called in the customer service, and they actually gave us $500 voucher.
$500 one time and $200 another time. So
Yeah.
it's worth calling. It just depends on, how big your trip is, how much you paid for it, and that kind of stuff.
If you didn't get satisfaction, I would call back.
Yeah, call again.
How far in advance do you book a trip? As far out as you can, like a year, because the farther out you book it, the cheaper it will be. 10 months in advance, Jay says. Yep, that's a good advice.
Good.
Let's see. Are there a lot of taxis at Emeryville Station?
You can get taxis.
There
I don't know
are.
a lot, but you can get a taxi. There are drivers waiting when the train arrives. They know when it arrives, and they're usually out there waiting.
Is the train station in Burbank close to the Burbank Airport? Yeah, it's actually right next to it.
Right next to it.
And it's not actually a train station. It's just like a platform.
It's just,
And there's like a very tiny parking lot.
And
so
it's shared with MetroLink as well.
don't plan on parking there unless you get lucky.
Yeah, you almost have to pay at the airport. So if you live close to the Burbank airport and you want to take that train, I would try to get an Uber or something because it's going to be hard to park there because the parking lot literally has like 10 spots.
Take the bus from Emeryville to San Francisco. That is the way to go if you're going to go to San Fran.
Yes.
We have not done it yet because
it hasn't worked out so far. Yeah, but you can. The bus will be waiting for you right out in front. Make sure you book that, and they'll take care of that for you.
Yeah. Another question is Amtrak going to reopen the dining car from New York to New Orleans? It is open now, but only for sleeper car. So yeah, on that one there's no observation car, so you're just sitting in your seat with the cafe. That is the way it is right now. It doesn't seem like it's going to change in the next couple months.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll have some.
I think are we at the bottom of the list?
We made it.
We made it.
Yeah.
Yay!
So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today.
Yes.
We love talking with you. Great to be back.
Thank you, guys.
We will be a lot more stationary the next few
months.
So we'll be able to do more regular lives on here.
Yes, so we'll be taking off this week. So our next live's probably going to be in 2 weeks, and it will be from somewhere in the Northeast. You'll stay tuned to see. We'll have some things on the stories, and we'll have some great videos I've put together for you guys of all the stuff that we've been doing. Don't forget to check out the website, groundedlifetravel.com, and keep checking out the videos. Coming new videos every Friday as normal. And if you're interested in cruising, head over to Grounded Life Cruises and subscribe there. We have new videos on that channel every Tuesday. So if you want to see us 2 times a week, you can see us on Tuesday and on Friday. And Mimi and GP is Rob's parents. Say hi to them as we're taking off there. Hi, we'll see you guys very soon.
Thank you, Sarah.
And thank you, Sarah. Wow, you got that in right under the wire. Thank you so much. You are a doll. So bye, everybody. We'll be seeing you guys very soon. In 2 weeks, we'll chat again. Have a great day, everyone.